way to getting Alexandria back to the top, which that's what you got to have. You got to have a couple of leaders, then you have to have a couple of lead jets, and then you have to have a very solid core group of part-time new people, and that's what we have going on right now. We did close to 40,000 in the base shop. David and Keisha are well on their way to going over 2020, but I think these meetings, the schedule we talked about yesterday, along with QBI, a huge emphasis on increasing our QBI, everybody's cash flow is going to go up. Everybody's recognition is going to go up. Most importantly, the overrides and everything that we're trying to accomplish, those will come in and you won't have any hiccups. And that's the goal, right? Getting the team cash up, getting the non-licensed agents, getting these bonuses. And this is how we're going to do it, raising our skill level. So what I want to do, I've asked these superstars, we're going to go with Clinton Giglio first, Jay McKinney second, Camila Gold finished number 1 in the office and personal production. She will be third. And then David and Keisha will also hit on some of the topics that we cover, overcoming objections. So Jay, Susan Littleton's trying to get in, just a heads up if you want to send her a link again or however you want to do it. But Clinton, can you take it away, my friend? Hit on the objection. And look, if y'all have any questions, please raise your hand and let us know, because we want this to be very interactive. We want to make sure that you understand the objections and understand the responses so we can get better from this. So Clinton, take it away.
Hey, appreciate it, Coach. First and foremost, I just want to congratulate Miss Courtney Bieber on her license officially being issued. She's going to be receiving about $1,150 in bonus. So congratulations, Courtney.
Great job, Courtney. That's big time.
She's actually on her way to AT right now. Very good. So Mike asked me, sent out a few objections yesterday, asked a couple of us to speak on a few things. The one I want to hit this morning is, if anybody receives an objection as to why maybe they haven't ever heard of Primerica, why don't they see advertisements? Why aren't there commercials for our business? What I like to tell people, what I usually hit on, and it sounds like somebody may still be unmuted. There's some background noise, if y'all don't mind.
518. Jay, mute Naughty out, please. That should be good to go.
Sounds like we're good now. Okay, cool. So what I like to talk about is the grassroots structure of Primerica, what it really means. Okay, the grassroots of Primerica was actually built under A.L. Williams back in 1977. A.L. Williams did this because he wanted to provide ownership to people, and not just a brick and mortar store, not just a business. He wanted to make people more wealthy and not just an individual business more wealthy. You see, in other corporations, in other businesses, just for instance, State Farm, Farm Bureau, companies like that, the biggest asset to them is the name, the sign, the billboard, the advertisements. They spend millions, if not billions of dollars every year just trying to push advertisements to help people come into their stores. See, they're not really producing people in those other businesses. They're not really creating or producing. They're basically, for lack of a better term, just kind of waiting on customers to come to them. So that's why Primerica pays us so much, is we are the creators. We are the business. We're the assets to Primerica. We go out and create business. They're able to save money on those advertisements, not spend as much, not spend money on commercials and ads and things like that. A scenario that I like to tell people is Mike, if you were in the market for a new vehicle, this is going to be a one-on-one with you, Mike. If you were in the market for a new vehicle, I don't know what you like, if you like Ford, Chevy, Dodge, whatever it is, but if you were in the market for a new vehicle, you were driving down the road and you saw a billboard on the side of the road that said, brand new Chevy Tahoe, this and that, rebates, so forth and so on. But then you went home, and maybe your best friend, or hell, maybe Blake came by one afternoon and he was buying, he pulled up in a brand new Chevy Tahoe, decked out with everything. And you were able to sit in that vehicle with him and touch everything, maybe even test drive it and get to see it in person. And then Blake not only did that for you, but he turned around and said, Mike, man, listen, you got to go talk to my guy at that Chevy dealership. He hooked me up. They got a really good deal going. Just tell him I sent you. He'll hook you up. Let me ask you, Mike, which is better scenario for you, that referral from Blake or that billboard on the side of the road?
Definitely referrals from my friends.
Right. So that's, in on a really high level, that's basically that is Primerica. Our business, our people, our business, our network of people are our biggest assets. They are the business. We are a referral-based company. We produce by reaching out to warm markets and to friends and family to meet that production. Small business owner mentality, if you think about it another way, a small business owner mentality is in the beginning to consistently reinvest money into the business to continue to build that business. If you think about it, Primerica does the exact same thing, except they're reinvesting their money into us as agents. Because we are the asset to keep building the business. So you just got to think about it on a different level. And really, Mike, that's that's really about it, man. That's what I got. Why Primerica is the way it is. Why we don't advertise. And I've never really had anyone object to saying that or to hearing that.
No, that's real good. And guys, what I want you to understand, if you understand what Clinton's talking about right now, you will appreciate this opportunity way, way more if you have a grasp of what's really taking place. So think about it like this, and Clinton's absolutely correct. I have been recruited by New York Life, State Farm, Allstate, Shelter. Every one of these companies, after I went vice president and opened up my own office, every one of them came after me to recruit me. And here's why I would never leave. Okay, number one, think about it. Art Williams built the company with 85 people. Today, there's 140,000 agents, and Primerica pays people more money than any other company in American business. Primerica, and this is a fact, Grant Cardone even said this in one of his talks. If y'all don't know who he is, he's a motivational speaker, a multi-millionaire, real estate mogul, all those things. He said Primerica has created more financially independent people than anywhere in America. It's not even close. That's because of this, okay? The difference between a State Farm, I have a client who owns a State Farm office in West Monroe. What State Farm does is they spend millions and millions of dollars to create business through advertising, right? So let's say Camila Gold is driving down the street and she gets upset with her homeowner's insurance company or her car insurance company, and she sees an actor or an athlete or hears an actor or an athlete on the radio, and they're promoting State Farm. Okay, Camila's in the market right now for auto insurance. She hears an advertisement. She thinks about State Farm, and then bam, she calls my buddy over at State Farm who is sitting at a desk waiting to serve a client that was created to advertise. Does that make sense? So here's what happens. My friend is there right now at 9 o'clock waiting on somebody to call that hears an advertisement. He's probably going to make $80,000 to $120,000 this year, wearing a suit and tie Monday through Friday, going into work as an employee. There's nothing wrong with that. Here's the opposite, okay? Primerica says, listen, we're not going to do any advertising, but we're going to pay you that money to go create business for Primerica. You can do it whenever you want to do it. You can make an unlimited income. And not only that, you can be an owner whenever you choose to do so. My friend Josh, who owns the State Farm, retired, right? Yesterday, I told Camila, Jay, Clinton, Daphne, hey, I want y'all to come be me. What do we need to do to get you into a regional vice president, right? What do we need to do to get you making an income that's 150 or more per year on average, and you create your own schedule? You make your own rules, right? I mean, that's just some of the minor things that we need to understand, because once you realize what you have in front of you and how this company was created, you take it to an entirely different level. And the last thing I'll say is this: when my old roommate tried to recruit me to New York Life, he sent me a message and he said, yeah, you can make potentially $200,000 a year. I said, okay, well, what would my hours be? I was just entertaining him. He said, well, you got to work about 60 hours a week in the beginning to get your book of business built up. I said, Brandon, I work 25 hours a week right now and I make $300,000 a year. I don't think so. I don't think that's going to happen, right? But he just And look, and he's not even with the company anymore. He left New York Life. So guys, I mean, you know, you need to understand these things. You need to get excited about it. And now it builds your foundation and your commitment even bigger, right? You get a little more excited about what you have in front of you. You treat it a little bit better, and you work a little bit harder to get to where you need to be. So I thought that was great, Clinton. Hey, Jay, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, Coach.
Jay, I want to say something, man. You know, I want to first off, Jay, for the recognition. I didn't even ask him to do this, and I told him that I dropped the ball because I ran out of time. And Jay's exact words were, "You underestimate me, Coach." I already took care of all of that. So I have to recognize Jay for stepping in, being a leader, using my desk wisely. You know, that's absolutely, and having my back. You know, I appreciate that very, very much. I appreciate you returning the favor. But Jay's always been one of the top personal life insurance producers in our office. Okay. That's not a question. We all know that. But this month, he added building into his mix. And that's one of the things I told Jay that he's been missing is once you start recruiting, you're going to be well on your way. And Jay absolutely did that. So now he's got a good bit of premium, but also a good bit of direct recruits. And he's built a district in Susan Littleton. So, you know, Jay, I'd like to know the objection. Please hit on the objection that we talked about. Explain, you know, how you overcome that objection, but also let us know what we can do to help you with these weekly recognitions for non-licensed agents before you wrap up, please.
Absolutely. Well, I appreciate it. Can you hear me, Coach?
Sounds great.
All right, wonderful. Let's see. We got a few people that are coming in. Well, I also want to give credit to the wonderful David and Keisha Hamilton, who sent me a message and just was kind of helping me out with this as well and let me know, hey, this is what we're going to do. So this was a team effort. They made sure that I had some things and then I put some things in place. Going forward, everybody, what would be great is the way everything is set up. If you could get with your upline, whenever you do something, or uplines, if you would plug into me or plug into Coach Hayward and just let us know, hey, this was a training sale. Hey, this was a recruit for this person. That way we can recognize them, because at the end of the day, nobody wants to be left off and left out. I know that when I do the recognition today, somebody's going to get a phone call saying, hey, you didn't recognize this. You didn't recognize me. And again, charge it to my head, not my heart, but let's put that pressure, or let's put that accountability on our upline to make sure that, hey, you recognize me, because remember, you sat across that kitchen table and said you're going to be in a company where people are going to recognize you. They're going to be exciting. It's high energy. Well, I done wrote 3 sales and you didn't recognize me. I don't like that. So let's make sure that we do that going forward. In regards to the question, though, that Coach asked me to hit on, he was talking about from the perspective of, why do I have to pay to join a job, to get a job? So this is a multi-level question and a multi-level answer, rather. The first thing is, I just attack off the top. I tell people, I say, first off, let's look at it this way. This is not a job. This is a business opportunity. But I'm going to come back to that in a moment, because I want to address what you're thinking as far as it being a job. I said, now, have you worked somewhere before? Obviously, they would say yes. When you work at that job, they let you know you have to work on this job at least a week to 2 weeks before you get your first check, which is a reference called a check in the hole. Does that make sense? And they're like, oh, yeah, that does make sense. I'm like, so basically what you're saying is you're working and then you're going to turn around and you're going to get paid. That's what I'm hearing you say. And they're like, oh, that is basically what it is. Yes, I'm working and then they're going to pay me. So you're basically going off of a promise that you put in the work and then they're going to pay you. So now you come over here for a business opportunity. Now, let me ask you a question, Mr. Hayward, we're going to use you for an example. Right now, you told me in our conversation that you like to flip houses. Do you have a real estate license, sir?
I do not.
Okay. Well, I know you are very talented. Do you think they're going to just give you a real estate license?
Yeah, they'll probably give me one, but not most people.
Yeah, not most people. But at the end of the day, we're going to just talk about the average common person. They're not going to just give you life insurance. They're not going to give you a real estate license, sir. So what they're going to do is they're going to put you in a class and you're going to pay some money to get a license so you could be certified. Now, why do you think you have that license? It's obvious that you have the skill to flip houses and to sell houses, but you realize that there's something that is missing in all of that, and it's called transfer of liability. Now, the reason why you have to get this license is because you're going to be federally regulated, state regulated. And as a result, if something happens, the company is going to bear the brunt of you, maybe fixing something wrong or not fixing something at all. If that makes sense. So with our opportunity, the reason why we want you to have a license is first and foremost, it's by law, you have to. And secondly, it transfers that liability to our company. We take the brunt of that. Now, the license that we're getting is a very simple $99 background check. But the wonderful thing is when you did that real estate license, they didn't pay you back. Our company will reimburse you for getting your license. And they're going to take the brunt of the responsibility, or the liability is transferred to us. Now, again, I'm gonna make it very simple. You told me yesterday that you went to the doctor. How would you feel if you knew that you just had a very good doctor that wasn't trained, wasn't certified, wasn't licensed?
I wouldn't feel good at all about that.
Okay, so in the same respect, sir, we're putting you in a position to where now when you step into a home, you have the confidence knowing that you are licensed, that you are backed by a company and a commission. The life insurance commissioner is appointed by the President of the United States. That means that this is not just a fly-by-night organization. So not only do you have the credibility, but now you have the credentials. And at the end of the day, wouldn't it make you feel better knowing that the doctor that just performed that operation on you, that they were certified, that they were licensed, versus somebody that just watched a TV show and say, I watch House, I watch ER, I watch, Grey's Anatomy. I think I could do this operation on you because it just looks similar. But no, this person is actually regulated. They are actually licensed. So at the end of the day, it's an opportunity. And the thing about this, Mr. Hayward, at the end of the day, it puts you in a position to where now when you have somebody that's questioning your credentials, they can look you up through the Louisiana or whatever state you're in, Life Insurance Commission, and they can see your name. And that makes you feel good because, you want that recognition, that credibility. You step into this place, you do things the right way because you are regulated, you pay the price, and we transfer the liability to our company.
No, that's real good, Jay. Okay, so there's, like we said before, now we have professionals like Clinton, Jay, Camila, David, and Keisha. People, we call them obviously very, very skilled at what they do. They've been around a while, and that is a very good explanation, and it makes total sense. Okay. Now, at the same time, with a lot of these objections that we have to overcome, we also have to have the ones that where we're using our personal touch. And with brand new people, knowing that, as an example, with how good Jay is, I'm not going to be able to probably go into that much detail a month or two after I'm licensed when I go out on my own. So we have these explanations, but we also have to have the one-liners and the two-liners that make sense too, Jay. So here's another way to put that with Jay. What Jay just mentioned is, let's say I'm going to use Jay's example. Okay, so because I would say, Jay, if Jay asked me, well, why do I have to pay for a job? I've never paid for a job before. I say, well, Jay, listen, I was wondering the same thing. But what I found out was that I had to invest in myself. I had to pay for a background check to make sure that I was able to get an insurance license in the state of Louisiana. And once the company found out that I was able to get a state license, they paid about $1,000 approximately to educate me and for me to have materials and to test. And since then, I'm working in the school system and I've averaged over $2,000 per month part-time. Me and Melissa have averaged that in income. So ultimately, I paid $124. I paid $25 a month, and I've been paid close to $100,000 part-time from that one investment in the background check and passing the test. So ultimately, what I'm trying to say, Jay, is what difference does it make? Would you give me $124 if I was going to give you $100,000 over a 2-year span? Hell yes, you would. So quit arguing with me and let's get this done, right? No. Yeah. But another thing I'll say too, and this is on another level, guys, look, don't be afraid to be honest with people and talk about the money that you've made. If I'm Camila Gold right now and somebody asks me, well, what am I paying for a background check for? Or they don't even got to ask that. This is the same response if somebody doesn't have the money, right? I'm going to say, listen, I understand it's $124, but Camila, and let's be real. I mean, you're a very talented person. I can tell you work hard. If you don't have $100 right now, the $100 is not the problem. It is the solution to your problem because whatever you're doing for money, you're not winning in that game, right? Let's be honest. And that's a simple objection, but it's on a more personal level. And the last thing I'll say to my own specific situation, I will say, listen, I understand. And this is if somebody doesn't have the money. And a lot of y'all have heard me say this. If somebody says, well, I don't have the money, I say, look, I get it. And I didn't have the money either when somebody had a conversation with me about this. I had to borrow the money from my girlfriend, who is now my wife, and she's driving me around, right? So, but I say, look, I borrowed the money from my wife. I started making an extra $1,000 a month. And now the company has paid me right at $2 million over the last 13 years. Now, there's not a human being in the world that wouldn't trade $124 for $2 million in ownership of a company. So I totally understand where you're coming from, but this is a situation where you have to get checked out. You have to get a background check, and then we're going to pick up the tab from there. And I love what Jay said. If I was going to give you a real estate license for $124, would you take it? Well, of course I would take it. But this is something that's going to be way more value. And again, I said that's going to be the last thing, but I can go on and on about this. I drive a Chevy Tahoe. It's about a $75,000 car, Camila. If I was going to sell you this car for $124 and you had an hour to get the money, would you be able to get that money? Of course you would. Of course you would. Now, I'm not going to do that, but what I'm going to do even better is I'm going to show you how to get involved in a business that doesn't go down in value like my car. It only goes up in value when you work the system. Is that fair enough? And guys, from there, once you've done that, once you've done those things like Jay was just talking about, it's all on them. And it makes perfect sense. And now they don't think they're paying $124 for a job. They understand they're paying $124 to get license and opportunity. Right, Jay? So great job. And like I said, I appreciate you putting together that PowerPoint. Camila, number one, ladies on top out of the three, very, very proud of you. I see how hard you are working. So share with us how you overcome the objections that we talked about.
All right, Coach. Thank you. Hey, everybody. Hope y'all having a great Friday. Thank God it's Friday. Great job to Clinton and Jay. I appreciate you guys and everybody that's on the call, David and Keisha. But they say, Kay, hey, what do I say when somebody say I ain't good at sales? Kay say, guess what? I wasn't good at sales either. We're actually not even looking for anybody that's good at sales. Right? You the perfect match. You 1 out of 10. You 10 out of 10. I tell them you 10 out of 10, not 1 out of 10, you 10 out of 10. Because guess what? We're not looking for people that already got sales because we're not doing sales. But this is what we're looking for. We're looking for people that want to be financially independent. Do you want to be financially independent? What they gonna say? Of course, yes. Then number 2, I say what? We're looking for people that are coachable. We're looking for people like Nadia. Like that's on the call now. We're looking for people like Briandria. She just got signed up yesterday. I called and woke her up. And I said, hey, Bree. I said, look, we getting off to a fast start. I said, we getting ready to have this call at 10 o'clock. I said, can you be on? She was like, well, hey, I'm just getting up. I said, okay, that's fine. I said, all we need to do is get you up. I said, all you got to do is turn that camera off, turn that mute off. And I said, I need you to listen because this is what we're going to be doing and we're going somewhere. So I'm looking for somebody that's coachable, just like Bree and Nadia. Okay, then they say, well, hey, are you looking to build relationships? Well, yeah, I love people. Well, look, that's the people that we're looking for. We're not looking for people that sales. Because guess what? How do people treat people that sales? They run from them, right? Okay, you get to calling folks and then they treating you like you're a bill collector. So you're in a perfect place. We're not actually looking for anybody that wants to sell anything. We're looking for people that want to build relationships. We're looking for people that want to be financially independent. And last but not least, we're looking for people that wants to what? To make some money and make a difference in people's lives. Do you think you can copy the right cat? Well, what you mean, Kay? Copy the right cat. Okay, if I could sit here and I could show you and I could just educate you, because if I could show you how 1 + 1 = 2, can you copy that? Yeah, Kay, I got that. I said, well, all right, then you're going to copy the right cat. That's all we're looking for in this business. We're not looking for a salesperson. So that's how I overcome, those objections when somebody say, I'm not good at sales. I don't want to sell nobody no insurance. I don't want to sell nobody no insurance either. But I want to sell them the possibility that they can create generational wealth for their family. I want to be able to sell them the fact that they can have a peace of mind knowing that they ain't got to go get a GoFundMe account. How you feel about that? Oh man, I'm with that. You with that? Well, let's go. Let's get this IB Day signed up and let's get started. Don't worry about it. We ain't looking for nobody that want to sell anything. We looking for people that want to educate and change lives. I know that's quick, that's straight to the point, but that's what I got.
Hey, straight to the point is exactly what's needed in that situation. And your energy, I don't care what you say. I want to do it. Right. That's what's really great about it. And here's the thing, you have people say that, and sometimes people may not even say it, right, Camila? They may not even say it like that, but they're thinking it, and they're wondering, like, I don't know if I could do this. And that's perfectly natural, right? That's part of, human nature. I didn't know if I could do this. I just know I didn't want to do what I was currently doing, and I needed a change. Thank God I was where I was in my life. But here's the thing. Here's what I'd say, Camila. And anytime we have these objections, I would say, is that all? Is that the only thing you're worried about? I want to make sure that's the only thing we're dealing with, because that's not really a big deal. I say, Camila, listen, I totally understand. When I joined this business, I was in the military and I flipped burgers. I had no sales experience. But let me ask you a question, Camila. Let's just say, for an example, that we met with one of your friends and she was paying $100 a month for $50,000 in insurance coverage, and you could give her $500,000 in insurance coverage for the same money. Do you think your friend would switch?
Absolutely.
So you're not going to have to really sell her or twist her arm or put her in a headlock or nothing?
Absolutely. It makes sense, Coach. The money makes sense.
It makes sense. Okay. So you would agree that lady that we had to basically just educate would be in a better situation with $500,000, and you would be in a better situation because you just made $500 at our first level of management in 1 hour. So that sounds like a win-win to me, right?
Absolutely.
Well, here's the thing. I don't think I really need to sell you on making an extra $500 to $1,000 from helping 1 to 2 clients a month, right? So I think we can, if you'll give me 30 days, I think we can get you where you need to be without turning you into a huge salesperson. Would you agree?
Yes, I could believe that. I'm with you.
So guys, listen to what she just did. And it does not matter. Yes, Jay, Clinton, Camila are incredibly skilled, but energy, excitement, positive vibes go so far when it comes to overcoming objections. I can't tell you how important that is. And also too, I don't care what you say, how good you say it. If you don't have energy, if you're not smiling, if you're not excited, they're not going to respond. Doesn't really matter what you say. Right? So it's all about your approach, your presentation, and your energy level. So Camila, I'm very, very proud of you. It's obvious that you're turning into the leader we all know that you can be. There's very special things coming for you. So thank you so much. Great job. David,
Thank you.
David, I know you've been working real hard with a lot of different people, a lot of new people. And I know you are well on your way to 20 by 20. And I'm excited, and I want to tell you that in front of everybody how much we appreciate y'all's group stepping up and helping Blake get that SNSD. I know it means a lot to him, and it just shows the kind of class and character that you and Keisha have. So I'm very proud of you, and I appreciate you very much for that. So if you would share with us the objections, just anything that you want to talk about, man, take it away. And I like that watch. That's big money there.
Awesome. Appreciate it, Coach. I'm going to turn it over to Keisha. She's going to go first, and I'm going to go second. Go ahead, man.
Oh, I didn't see Keisha. I'm sorry.
That's all right, Coach. That's all right. No problem. Good morning to everybody. Wonderful job, Clinton, Jay, Camila. You guys are always dropping gems. Love it, love it. So we're going to talk a little bit about the objection of, is this a pyramid? Now you got to watch that question, team, because you don't know if they talking about pyramid or pyramid schemes. So we're going to answer it in 2 different ways, in a sense. Just talked last night with somebody on the Fast Start Planner orientation. And I said, we're going to armor you, because some people are going to come at you and ask, well, that sounds like a pyramid. And I'm going to talk about on the side of recruiting and how things can be tiered like this. And I say, well, let's just say I worked at Walmart. I have a family member who's been at Walmart for years and years. I said, when do you think is the last time the Walton kids or whoever they partly sold the business to came in and shook my family member's hand? And she was like, probably never. I said, how often do you think that's going to happen in the future of her career working there? They're like, that's probably not going to happen. I said, why is that? Because the Walton kids own that deal. Okay. They're the owners of that deal. And I can never be that person. Unless I marry one of the Walton kids, and I'm already married, okay, get married sons, right? Unless I marry or I have so much money that they're willing to allow me to be part owner in some type of way, I'll never be the owner of that deal. So how does Walmart look? You've got the owners at the top. Then you got some regional managers, you got some general managers, you got some department leads, you got the people who stock, who are cashiers, who walk around the store helping people. So it looks like what? And she said, well, kind of looks like a pyramid. I said, you're absolutely right. I said, the difference here is this: you get to become the owner if you so choose. You want to be an owner here? Matter of fact, we have a vested interest in you to become the owner. I want you to be an owner. I want you to supersede here and be an owner. I said, not only that, watch this. You ever heard where, working in a business, or they talk about these businesses where you get paid off of people, off of people, off of people. I said, now watch this. This is the difference here. There's no such thing as working hard and somebody getting paid off of your back and you putting in these sweat and blood and tears. It's none of that here, because watch this. I say, let's say that you bring me in, okay? You were here first and you bring me in. You get comfortable, you kind of cool with making a part-time income, but I say, you know what? I'm gonna go for that ownership deal that they talk about, regional vice president or something, RVP, something like that. I'm gonna go for that. And I start putting in the work. Although you brought me here, I can pass you up. That's not a pyramid. It's not like a traditional business here. We can become an owner and I don't have to stay under whoever brought me in. If I put in the work and I work harder, I'm going to pass that person up. So that's explaining the side of the pyramid, and people understand that they can become an owner. They don't never have to stay here or whatever level. They can be at the top. And then David's going to talk about explaining the pyramid scheme side of it.
Awesome job. So yeah, the pyramid scheme, I don't really get it that much, and as I used to at the beginning. And I think it comes with the confidence and the energy that you bring off when you're talking to people. Now, we get it sometimes, but like when you just kind of make it make sense to them, like Keisha just did, and like a lot of other people did, like I'm looking at Tiffany on there grinding. She's at work and grinding, and that's the energy that she's like, oh, you know what? I want to change my life. So 9 times out of 10, probably the position that she's in, nobody's going to come and talk to her and say Walmart's a pyramid scheme, right? So many times, when McDonald's first got started, Ray Kroc had switched his perspective over to different things and started getting investors. But guess what they were saying about McDonald's, guys? They said McDonald's was a pyramid scheme, right? So it's okay to get that. You just don't want to overthink it in your mind. So I always ask people, I said, I always give them my testimony. I said, look, I'm a Black dude from Alexandria, Louisiana. I don't have no degree. I was a retail manager, right? Managing a Sprint store, and I was making about $2,000 at a good month, but I was working 70 to 80 hours a month, right? So when I came into this business, I didn't understand. I knew about license because I have a barber's license. I went to school for barber school. I went to barber school, and I also went to real estate school. But guess what? I had to pay for both of them, right? So I always asked them, I asked this to 2 young ladies yesterday. I think one of them on, right? And I asked them, I said, what industry creates the most millionaires and billionaires? And let me find somebody. Kate. No, I ain't asking Kate. Brittany. She ain't work. Jay, what would you tell me? What industry creates the most millionaires and billionaires? Just throw some out there.
I'm gonna say technology.
Technology, right? What would you say, Courtney? What would you say? What industry creates the most millionaires and billionaires? And I know you're at work, sis. Oh shit! Oh no, I don't need her looking. No, don't answer. No question. Don't jump out that plane. DJ.
You should have asked me.
No, no, I ain't asking you. DJ, what industry creates the most millionaires and billionaires?
Man, the realistic answer is the financial industry, man.
Oh, get the heck out of here, man. Financial industry. So watch this, guys. I always show people this. I say I was not given an opportunity before I came into this business to getting something I'm getting ready to show you, right? So I say most people do their research. That's what people say when they say pyramid scheme. They say, you know what? I'm going to think about it. Let me do my research. And I say, no problem. What do you plan on researching? Because obviously, if you haven't researched to this point, what are you going to research after 15 minutes of talking to me? Because you have no information. So what you going to research and where would you start? With Google? How about we go together, right? Because remember, we're talking about a pyramid scheme. That's what you thought it was. So we're going to Google together. So I'm going to Google what industry creates the most millionaires. Look at it at the top. And what does that say? Financial services industry. Wow, isn't that amazing? So I click on it, and most people don't understand. I had one girl say the music industry. I said, I know that's a ball face. I knew that didn't create no million, right? Because I've been in the music industry and I was broke, right? So watch this. Number one, financial services. And I always highlight things. And I know this might be a little bit more extra, but they're going to do this once they hang up with you. They're going to Google. So I'm going to do this with them, right? And it says, look at this. A lot of money is made in the what? Business of money, right? A lot of money is made in the business of money. Look at this next part, and I always highlight this. Look at this next part. Read that for me, Kay.
The foundation of the entire world's economy is built on the finance industry.
So my question to you is, Kay, my question to you is this. You know, with Primerica flipping the bill for you to get a license in the highest paid industry in the world for $124 for a background check that they're going to give back to you, do you think that's worth it, or do you think that's not worth it?
Absolutely, it's worth it.
So if that's worth it, imagine when you can control your time and money and add that to the number one industry in the world.
I'm loving it right now.
Right? So watch this. So this is what we do. Primerica gives average and ordinary people like us an opportunity to be able to make as much money as possible, but not just that. We able to hire, we able to partner with people that might be our friends, that might be our cousins, that might be even our family members that are close, so we can start a family business. So basically that pyramid scheme went out the window. So now you recognize you getting funded to be in the highest paid industry in the nation.
That's real good, David. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so let's talk about, I've been getting kicked off. I think I'm good now. I'm in Arkansas or somewhere crazy, but no, that's perfect. Now let's talk about this very, very quickly. Okay, so if somebody says, is that a pyramid? Well, don't get upset. I used to get upset. I used to get a little aggravated and call them a moron and think they're silly. And you don't want to do that, right? First off, I ask, what do you mean by a pyramid? What they're really saying is they heard you can recruit, right? Well, the other day, I went and got a haircut from a girl I never got a haircut from before, and we were just talking. And she said, she asked what I did. I said Primerica, and she had known somebody that worked with us who quit. And she said, well, isn't that a pyramid? And I said, well, what do you mean? And she kind of alluded to, well, don't you have to go find people and put people under you? I said, well, Amy, listen, let me ask you this. I said, let's just say, for an example, that you wanted to open up your own salon. You wanted to open up your own place where you cut hair. You're going to be the owner. I said, well, what would you do? Would you just work there yourself, or would you try to recruit other barbers and hairstylists to come in here and work with you? And obviously she said, well, I would want to recruit other people to come work with me, right? I said, exactly, right? The biggest organizations in the world recruit, right? The best football teams do the most recruiting. The military obviously is heavily recruited. What you're really asking me is, do you make money from recruiting people? The answer is absolutely not. Now, David, if I showed you how to make an extra $2,000 or $3,000 per month in an industry that you are not yet trained in, is it going to bother you if I get paid a commission in addition to what you do?
No, sir. So it won't.
No, right. Because if I show you how to make an extra couple grand a month, let me tell you about a guy named Derek Simpson who was selling cars. I started working with him. I trained him. He now makes $400,000 per year, and my income goes up about 150 every time I do something. Do you think there's a loser in that scenario?
No, sir.
No, there's not. And the last thing I'll say about it, and this is if you're in a situation where maybe you don't have the skill set yet that David's got, or maybe you don't even have the resources. Maybe you're at a ball game and you're just talking to somebody and you're trying to get an appointment with them, or a birthday party or whatever it is. And I'm talking to David, and David gives me that look like he gave me when I very first came into the office, like I was lying to him or I was about to steal his wallet or slap him in the face or something. He said, isn't that a pyramid? I say, listen, David, I thought the same thing. And here's why. My friends around me told me that it was a pyramid, but this is what I realized. After I paid a little bit more attention to the opportunity and I had an open mind and I met the people in the organization, I realized that they were A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau. I realized that AM's Best, which is the insurance ratings company, has them at the top of the list. And now the stock has gone from 15 a share to over 150 per share. Now, I realized that they're not going to put
You're muted, Coach. I know you've given a great man. It's amazing.
I said, do you believe, David, that they would put a pyramid scheme on the New York Stock Exchange and trade at $150 per share?
No, sir.
And so when you bring it up like that, what you're basically saying is, David, I believe that you're smarter than that, but let me give you some facts because I believe you're going to think about it like I did. Now, if they're closed-minded, which we know a lot of people are, it don't matter what you show them. It don't matter what you say to them. You can show somebody my 1099. I've literally had this happen, a 1099 from a huge income year, and the guy's dad told him it was a pyramid, and he didn't join the business. I don't know what else you can do, guys. But knowing these things and making it, very easy to understand and leveling with people is the way you overcome objections, right? And the last thing I'm going to say is, sorry, we had a little bit of a deal here. But what I was going to say is, okay, the last objection, Daryl mentioned this, okay? The main thing we got to understand is the objections you tell yourself when it's time to go to work. Okay, now I'm going to get very different. The difference with the Camilas and the Jays and the Clintons and the David and Keishas is they've told themselves that they can do this business. They've told themselves that nobody's going to outwork them. They've told themselves that they're going to pay the price to make the changes that they need to make to get the job done. Clinton and I were talking about this earlier. This is the easiest business in the world, but it's also the most difficult. And what does that mean? That means that if you do what you're supposed to do, if you get out there and you work and you get in front of people and you love on people, you level with people, but you also understand that not everybody's going to buy, that's not on you. If you also understand that people are going to tell you things, but not always do them, that's not on you. If you understand that people are going to be closed-minded and you just got to keep shooting your shot, it's all going to work out. But you have to tell yourself that every day when you wake up, and you have to do it with urgency, and you have to pay a lot of attention to where you're spending your time. Okay, we've all had success in this business at some degree, but we've also failed in this business at some degree, right? But I can tell you this, whenever I'm not getting the results I need to get, it is 100% because I am not spending my time doing the right things, okay? And I know David, Camila, Clinton, Jay can all agree with me on that. Not spending time doing the right things will keep you from where you want to go. So how do you get out of that rut? How do you get out of that funk? Number one, you got to start thinking long-term, okay? You got to start realizing that you are the one that's going to get it done. Ellis, please mute. So making sure that we understand, look at Ellis on there on Outback. Boy, he look good. So, what was I saying for Ellis?
I got you, Coach.
But, okay, so going back
wisely.
to start spending your time wisely. What is wisely? Okay, let me help you out. Let me tell you what isn't wisely, okay? Playing video games in the middle of the day is not spending your time wisely, okay? I'm going to get real with you because I love you. If you're playing a video game today and you're out, should be out working and prospecting, set appointments, don't kill the messenger. We both know I'm right, Camila. You know what I'm saying? You got to get out there and you got to go talk to some people. Guys, do you understand that if you had 5 Camilas on your team, you would make $250,000 per year? $250,000 a year, guys. You don't know anybody that makes that kind of money that's going to show you how to do it, right? Except Primerica. If you had 5 David and Keishas, you're making $500,000 a year. If you knew what it was like to make $50,000 in 1 month, you'd never play another video game in your life. If you knew what it was like to be driving to Branson to do an investment business that Primerica paid us to do a condo and with your wife and to call your own shots, you'd never play another video game. Matter of fact, you would never waste another minute not studying. And I want you to understand that, because guys, this opportunity to have the freedom and the money is it's the best thing that you could ever have. But you got to understand where you're spending your time and what it is that you're doing, because here's what I can tell you. If you write down everything, it's income producing activity versus income reducing activity. Okay. I'm going back to the video game because I heard somebody's been playing the video games instead of studying. They know who they are. That right there is not doing anything but entertaining at that moment. Can we all agree with that? That is entertainment. That is relaxing at the moment, just like sleeping too much. Okay? If you sleep 12 hours a day, well, you got to stop that, right? You got to stop that. You got to start waking up earlier, staying up later, studying to get yourself in a position to where you can lead a team, to get yourself in a position where whenever that $100,000 rollover falls in your lap, you can make that money. Whenever Camila Gold walks up to you at a Buffalo Wild Wings and she's smiling and you know you could prospect her, do you have the skill set to recruit her and override her? That's the name of the game, guys, and that's how you become equipped. It's all about how are you spending your time. And this is the last thing I'll say, and I'm going to let Jay pull up the recognition. And recognize our non-licensed agents. If you're not spending your time with these new people and answering their questions and their concerns and encouraging them and motivating them, well, they're not going to get motivated and they're going to stay right there where they are. On the other side of that, if you earn your override, if you encourage, motivate, spend time, hug on them, cry with them, whatever it is, you're going to develop that relationship. And that's things that are non-breakable. And that's the name of this business. Bonds that will never go away, right? And that's what we got to spend our time doing. And then last thing is you got to have something that motivates you internally. I know for me, I listen to Art Williams pretty much every day before or after I studied for the Series 6. I mean, literally every day. Why? Because I knew there was going to be times where I was not motivated. Yeah. I knew there was going to be times where I got distracted, right? But that's not okay. I'm an adult. I said I'm going to do something special for my family. I do not have the right to stay distracted very long. And that's called maturity. Now, has it always been that easy? No. I had to change my mindset. I had to change my thinking. And we need help from people to do that. The Eric Thomases of the world, Grant Cardone. I get motivated now when I go see the priest. It makes me think bigger. I don't think short term, right? You got to find whatever it is that is going to motivate you to study more, to prospect more, to set more appointments. And I promise you, you're going to get the results that you need to get. You just heard from some superstars in our office, and they're not even close to where they're fixing to go. I know you're about to see their numbers explode, but the way they're going to do that is to stay motivated, get results, and most importantly, help their people get results. And I think that if you take lessons from what they just talked about and what they are doing, you will absolutely go to the next level. I know we have people on here getting ready to explode, and this is the way we're going to do it. So Camila, Jay, Clinton, David, and Keisha, phenomenal job. That could not have went any better than I expected. What we're going to do real quick, the QBI thing that we talked about, I'm going to ask Keisha and David next week. We're going to put together a PowerPoint to really explain the QBI and what it means. But Ashley Martinez is going to be reaching out to you guys. Please help her. My ultimate goal, because I know y'all are going to get this done, qualify for RVP. My ultimate goal is for you not to be hung up because of QBI issues. I want to be proactive with this. And all that basically means is getting the MRNs in, the amendments in, following up on these medical questions that, whatever it is, spending a little bit of time per week. But I obviously hired her to take the pressure off of y'all and take a lot of the workload. So she's going to be reaching out to y'all. Please update her. And please let me know if you have some issues with some clients that I can help with. But this isn't going to go away. We're going to get it right. And then we'll be on cruise control with it with our system. And now some of y'all, Camila, Jay, Clinton, you guys have great QBI. But we all know we can get a little bit better at it. And that's all I'm asking is let's just step it up a notch. Having that said, Jay, if you would pull up the slide that you put together for our non-licensed agents, everybody that produced, that way we can get them recognized, please.
All right, here we go. Let me move this out the way. Okay, so this is our recognition. Now, this is for the month of May. I'm still co-hosting. All right. You said you gave me the hosting, right, David?
Yes, sir. We can see it. Go ahead. I got you, bro. We can see it.
All right. It's just freezing on the screen over here.
Oh,
Let me see.
Guess we're gonna have to hire an IT department.
I know, right? It's like I can't stop sharing my screen.
oh, let me give you back the host, man. Might be that the government.
Yeah, you only give me so much power, so I can't. You know what I'm saying?
Well, you get an A for effort, Jay. We'll get Buck in there to relieve us from the.
I mean, when you only get everything is like, okay, let's see. Here we go. Recruits. We got Tiffany had 3. Shanique Walters had 3. Nadia Whittington had 2. Boy, David Hamilton. Courtney Bieber had 2. Cody Edwards had 1. Roderick Bell Jr. had 1. LaKendria Hughes had 1. Renika Bowe had 1. And that's all for the recruits. Now moving to training cells. We had Nadia Whittington with 5. Lexis Kelsey with 3. Alec Florey with 1. Shanique Walters had 1. Willie Thornton had 1. Lee Page had 1. Chastity Gillard had 1. Terriana Jones had 1. Terry Barker had 1. Renika Bowe again had 1. Crystal Rogers had 1. Martha Jones had 1. Courtney Bieber had 1. Of course, Courtney got her license, but this was all in the beginning of May, so she was not licensed yet. And Chanel Stevens had 1. And Tiffany Barnes finishes out in the month of May. So we're into June now, everybody. And at the end of the day, the main thing is if you have anybody that needs or that has recognition that you want to make sure, please get that to me. If we're going to have meetings on Fridays and we're going to recognize, it would be great to have it Thursday night so that I can put everything together on the slide accordingly. If you give me something, if we're supposed to meet at 10 and you give it to me at 9, they're going to get it on the next one. So just letting you know.
Great job, Jay. Thank you. Yeah, we'll do that. Make sure to have it on Thursday. Last thing I'm going to say, guys, 2 things. If you want to go to the convention in Atlanta, you need to get yourself registered by Monday. Okay. I do have a house. It's basically it's almost filled up. We can get another house, but everybody wants to go until it's time to register. So please get yourself registered by Monday if you're certain you want to go. That way we can figure out what we need to do for carpooling issues, for lodging issues, whatever it is that we need to do, okay? Secondly, licensing class this Saturday. If you weren't there yesterday, our new schedule is Monday, Wednesday, Friday Zooms, okay? 10 a.m. on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. You're very welcome to come into the office and attend there. We also want to do as many orientations as we can in person at the office, as many recruiting interviews as we can in person at the office. But these trainings on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday are to develop the skills we need for everyone to become field trainers. So please make sure you remind everybody. We have 31 on here today. We can get this up to 50 by next week, I believe. And then the last thing I'll say is the licensing class. Please let Debbie Vadrine know. But first, please call everybody that you have that has not yet been to class and invite them. You never know. Please stress the importance. I don't want to cancel these classes. I think it'll be a huge detriment to our businesses, but we have to get these things filled up. We have to get people in these classes because it's a huge asset. So please do your part as a leader and invite them and tell them to be there by 7:30. They cannot be late. If they're late, they'll be turned away. That's not Debbie being mean. That's just the rules. So if you have people that are going, or if you have people that you have not yet invited, please get commitments from them and let Debbie know. All right. Thank you, guys. The competition for the month of June will be announced. The Alexandria Office competition will be announced today on the Facebook and Telegram pages. It's going to be similar to a pool for cash. And also, I'm waiting for Don and Bree. Oh, one other thing. Okay, the SIE. Here's what Don and Bree did. They sent 6 people to home office. Their home office has been having classes that the guy who actually does the Edge videos, I believe, teaches personally. Okay, they sent them to home office to attend this class, and it's a work week. I mean, these guys worked hard. They got everything they needed. They came back home, they studied, and a week later they went in and they passed the test. I am waiting on the dates for that because I know there's several of y'all that need to go. I will absolutely invest in y'all going and doing that. That's how important it is to me and how important it is, I know, to you guys. So I am on that. I will get you the dates as soon as I have them. And I will also get you the dates of our next event at Mercado's Restaurant. That's going to be a training blitz in July that I'm putting together. And I'm getting Don and Bree to come be our guest speakers. So that'll be a very, very big deal. So all these things are happening. But most importantly, like I said before, is talk to your folks. Make sure we're getting these non-licensed agents on here because that's just what's going to help us explode the team. And great job one last time, Jay, Camila, Clinton, David, and Keisha. Thank y'all for making this a great meeting. We will be here again on Monday at 10 a.m. You guys enjoy your weekend. Call me if you need me. Let's light up the scoreboard. Love y'all.
Hey, one more thing before y'all hang up. If you register for National Convention, go to Primerica Online, scroll down to a blue box that says Playbook, and you'll see one of the links says register now for convention.
Good information. Appreciate it, man.